Now, the one thing that sucks about Superview is when you see a good dumper, it actually doesn't translate on Superview. It'd be better with linear or narrow. I think linear is actually kind of like Superview, but the GoPro does something to compensate for the fish angle. Whereas if you just did narrow view, that's the view where there's genuinely no fish angle. And but anyway, she was kind of a famous artist, and there's this Canadian glass gallery right here, this building that you're seeing in front of me, and she had her work. Her work is displayed in that building, and sometimes she would travel from Manitoulin Island, where her and her boyfriend lived, and she would come and stay at our house, and we would go to her gallery work. We would go to her gallery and support her work. She was like a famous indigenous painter. I don't know what this guy is doing. Okay, thank you. And there's a dumper behind me that I really wanted to see, but I just couldn't I couldn't get to it. And it's one of the tragedies of life, you can't always see the dumpers that you want. Oh, and wow, that green pants dumper, you can better believe I was waiting to see that up close. But once I saw her face, I thought, oh man, bad complexion, just, crazy. Now, in the way of being cruel, I mean, I wouldn't say that to her. I was very cruel one time for unbeknownst reasons to me. I was at this bakery. They had amazing vegan desserts. And there was this girl who was pretty hot, and she had this huge boil on her head. It was the size of a golf ball. And I said to my cousin who was there with me, isn't it a shame when someone's hot but they have something fucked up about them that makes them ugly? And then the girl started crying. And I think she was crying because of what I said. And I felt like so bad. I was like, oh my God, And it must have been my cowardly way of trying to compliment her. Like, yeah, I'd still fuck you. Oh, that was a really good dumper back there. I didn't even get to look. You know what? I'm going to cross just to get a long distance shot. Oh man, that's a really good one. I have like 20/10 vision. That's like the best vision you can have. And I could see that dumper from a long ways away. And so then she served me. She was like, what, she's like crying. She's like, what do you want? And I was like, can I get some vegan cheesecake or something? I'm really moral here. And meanwhile, I was just cruel to the extreme. Well, that was one of those times where I wasn't self-aware. I wasn't even, I was semi-aware, but I wasn't really fully there. And then I felt woken up by that. Why would I be so cruel? Well, it's kind of like a backhanded compliment, hello. Kind of like, yeah, I guess I'd fuck you in spite of that big gross boil on your head, on your forehead. Now, maybe I was within my morality. Maybe I was saying, well, if you ate more vegan foods and you weren't so unhealthy, you wouldn't have that big cyst growing on your forehead. God. I mean, I'm sure you have thought the same thing I did. I'm sure you think the exact same thing I do. I'm sure you literally look at your butt in tights and say, well, at least someone would fuck me, even in spite of this big boil on my head. Maybe I was the hero. I was helping her process. I was speaking out loud what she would think. And none of her friends would say that. Would any of her friends say, you know what? Some guy still would fuck you. They wouldn't say that. They'd say, you're beautiful. Of course he'd fuck you. They wouldn't say, no, he actually would fuck you. No, he actually would. They wouldn't say that. They'd say, of course he would. Okay. So we're at the University of Waterloo. And I used to walk around here. I dated a girl who went to the University of Waterloo. I dated two, actually. One was kind of like, I'm on the board of directors. I'm organizing a TED Talk. And I don't know if she was a gang stalker. I hung out with her in Toronto after that's a city an hour away from here, after we broke up, and she didn't have sex with me then. The first night I had sex with her, I was doing I was doing a paid gig helping someone with photography at Rim Park or somewhere. I don't know, I was photographing important people at a science conference, or I don't know, some big event. I was photographing important people. And the pay was $150. And then the photographer never paid me. And I emailed him after. I was like, you were really fucking lame. You were lame to tell me you were paying me and you didn't pay me. And he got really uppity, and he accused me of being drunk. And I didn't respond. I said, here's my address. You can send me a check. Like as if he was going to pay me and he just hadn't gotten around to it yet. And then right away, and I had waited a couple months. And then right away, he sent me a check. And when we were at the, whatever the event was, I forget what it was. Someone who worked at the event asked me for the memory card with the photos. And so I gave it to them. And then the photographer was like, what did you do? You never do that. We didn't even get paid. And meanwhile, he didn't pay me. He's like, he's like, as a photographer, you never give the client, you never give the person the photos until after they paid. Like, that's like the rule number one. I was like, okay. I didn't know that. Like, why would I think, that these business people who are using corporate money to pay, why would I think they would be stealing? Now, of course, we know that they do steal. We know that they are, pretty bad people. But we also know that they aren't courageous enough to steal out in the public like that. They steal by gang stalking. They steal by sneaky methods. And so there was this girl who was a volunteer there. They were all wearing the same kind of clothing. Like they had like blue shirts on, black pants, and she was thick. She was Indian, actually. And Indian like the dot. She was half white, half Indian. I didn't know she was Indian until later. And not that it matters, except that I pay attention with which ethnicities I've had sex with, just as a sort of trivia. And so we went to the nightclub that night, and then we went home to her apartment, and I fingered her ass. And it was the only time I ever did that. And then we dated for a while, and I had really saggy balls, which were very embarrassing for me because I had varicocele, which is like congestion in the vas deferens veins, makes your nuts saggy. So I would go in her kitchen and fill a pot with ice water and dunk my nuts in the, hello.
Sorry.
That's okay. In the pot of water just to get my shriveled up nuts to not look like they were sagging down to my knees. And at one point, I don't know why, because you'd think, well, you kind of misled her, at the beginning you think she's so hot, you're willing to get up in her ass. And then after that, you're like, yeah, I don't think so. And she had hinted, she's like, I'm planning something special for us. Like, yeah, I know what you're saying. You're saying you want to have anal sex. But every once in a while, I'd see her from a certain angle, and she had acne, and I was just thinking, oh God, you look terrible. Like, you look like that fucking cyst forehead bitch. Like, gross. And I'm supposed to go up in your ass? I don't know about that. But I mean, she was pretty cool. She was rich. Went to her, we went to her dad's house. We had sex in the shower. They had like a hot tub and a pool. And the atmosphere was cool. Like her dad was really cool. Like he didn't care that we were having sex in the house. Like it was just like a cool thing. But she was always going on how she's on the board of directors, and I kind of felt like she was bragging. I don't know. She's very professional. Very, very, very rich. And she was an engineer. That's the other thing. It's exceedingly rare for a girl to be an engineer. Like in her program, she was really smart. There was only there was 500 guys and like 2 girls. Like she was like the only girl. I think she was a daddy's girl, and which kind of explained why her and I were together, because I was kind of like a mama's boy. Like we went to buy an Xbox once, and she insisted that I cleaned the house before setting up the Xbox, and it was my own house. And I was like, okay, Okay. Let's see, I remember the days of smoking weed. Yeah, I kind of missed that. Oh, I would be scared if I smoked weed. I would have big goals. That's one of the scariest things about it, really. I have big goals. I would be back in the game, baby. That's how I'd feel if I smoked weed. I'm gonna meet someone, I'm gonna get married, I'm gonna be rich, I'm gonna be famous, it's gonna be amazing. I'm gonna make the fucking best video in the whole world. You guys are gonna love it, dude. I'm fucking enlightened. Oh God, I'm enlightened, holy shit. Oh, there's a big letdown when I smoke weed. I don't want to get up that high. I'd love to be that high, but getting there by artificial means, it just seems flimsy. It fails. And it turns on a dime. Suddenly I get the wrong thought and I'm paranoid, or I'm excessively sad, just like it can make me excessively happy all of a sudden. It can turn to misery all of a sudden as well. Man, it would be cool to ride my bike on this skate park. How awesome is it to have a power bank? Do you have a power bank? Have you ever had your phone not be charged when you need it? Oh, you'd be wishing for a power bank. Oh, and here's the flotation place. Oh, I love this place. I had a membership here. I think the people who work there are gangstalkers. Old high school friend. He started this business with his dad. I should see if it's still up. Like that thing Joe Rogan does, like a sensory deprivation tank. You float in salt water. They put like hundreds of pounds of salt in the water. So you're super buoyant. They heat the salt water to the temperature of your body, so you feel like you're floating. Now, it was in this plaza here. I don't know exactly where it was. Scrapbook Friends. Looks like it closed down. May have closed down during COVID. Department of National Defense. I wonder if we found the gang stalkers. Kung Fu. Wellness Cafe. You know what I'd like is a cat cafe. Arcadian. Industrial. Beds, Whites, and Brewers. Wow. You'd never know these places exist. Well, anyways, I used to date a gang stalker who lived around here. She also went to the University of Waterloo. Like that other girl I dated who I don't think was a gang stalker, who may have been. But University of Waterloo is a pretentious, it's an intellectual place. It's kind of, it's a prestigious university. You have to have very high grades to get into University of Waterloo. If you want to be an engineer or something, you go to University of Waterloo. And if you're just a retard, you go to Laurier. But at Laurier, we had a very good professor. He was very highly ranked, probably higher than any University of Waterloo professor. And he was very prestigious. He was like, very well resumed. I don't know. He had a lot of accomplishments under his belt. He had dinner at Henry Kissinger's house. He didn't like Henry Kissinger's policies. I mean, he got like 95% on Rate My Professor. Well, his name was Don Morganson. I swear, if I had a heart and I wasn't dead inside, this would be the sight that makes me cry. This would remind me of some kind of long-lost love and innocence. Well, anyway, time to go jack off my little pecker while imagining getting raped. While punching myself in the balls till I'm bruised and in pain. Anyways, how's your day going? I hated the vibes I got at University of Waterloo. I forget why I was there, but I was there at some times. Maybe he was doing nude drawing. They had nude drawing. And they were never hot. You think you're gonna go draw someone nude, you think you're gonna get someone hot. Because it does happen, but the odds are not good. It's most likely gonna be someone who is getting off on it. But they're not getting off on it in the way you think. It's like someone who's out of shape and they're kind of giggly that they're actually that confident. That's kind of the demeanor they have. Can you believe how confident I am that I'm accepting my body enough to do this? No, it's beyond sexual, it's art. Can you believe I'm doing this? You wouldn't have the guts to do this, but I do. I'm on edge. I'm the edgy one here. This is the kind of smirk they have. There was this one girl who worked there too, and she was so hot. It just drove me crazy. She had the best hips. She had a really good face and like just the best hips. Like it was just like unheard of. I said to her once, "Can I go to the bathroom before the class starts?" Because you're not allowed to do that. Once the class starts, if you leave, you have to leave. You can't come back in. They're really strict on you can't interrupt the class. And I was like, "Is there time? Like, can I run to the bathroom before it starts?" And she's like, "Oh yeah, of course. Just go. It's fine. You can come back in." I was like, "Oh, thanks, wide hips." Hey, thanks there, wide hips. I felt like vastly inferior to her. Like on every level, like physically, intellectually. Have you ever felt like that? Like you're totally less than someone? Like they outperform you on every level? And without their trying to do it either. Wouldn't that person just drive you crazy? Wouldn't you just be totally nuts around them? I guess that's how some girls get pregnant. They're like, "Yeah, just come in me and I'll just have the baby." And because I'm so attracted to you that's how I want to do it. Like I could never imagine just having a baby with someone. And before I was a fucking faggot, retard incel, before being gangstalked turned me into a fucking faggot. I used to have pretty hot girlfriends who would have gotten pregnant. Okay, so I thought there was a pita pit around here. That's what I really like. Open 24/7, wow. And I'll show you where I got punched in the face. Okay. Pizza Nova. I think they have vegan pizza at Pizza Nova. Oh, really good sushi here. Or at least there used to be a sushi place here. Looks like something different now. So I was walking by this place called Mel's Diner, and there's a psychologist I used to hang out with. He was kind of a weirdo, and we were at this bar, and he grabbed my hand and he shoved it into some girl's butt, and that's not something I would do. And I have a feeling that that's why. That I was standing outside of Mel's Diner, walking here, and he held the door open for me, and I was like, I'm not even going in there. And he said, oh, well, he says, well, nice to meet you, and he shakes my hand. And then with his other hand, he punches me in the mouth. And it was really painful. Uniqlo, yeah, this used to be a bar. This was like a high-end bar that I used to go to. I met a girl there she actually said she was a genius, and I didn't believe her, so I pulled up an IQ test online, and she took it, and it turned out she was. She never slept with me. She would grind with me. She asked me for a ride home. I think she was a gang stalker. She was a real tease. Just a really cuckoldy type of person. Really humiliating. You'd have to be pretty demoralized to be a gang stalker. Like, you'd have to be pretty seriously mentally disturbed. I mean, to your own peril. I'm not just saying, like, as an outsider, like, wow, you'd be totally fucked up. I mean, like, you'd have to have a lot of cognitive dissonance. You'd probably be suffering a lot. Oh, yeah. Oh, I think that was a nice dumper on that pig. Kind of an odd shape, but definitely nice lines underneath the butt cheeks. Yeah, it kind of makes me sad to not have any dumpers in my face. Oh, wow, this is cool. I almost feel like I should go over here. I do have the power bank. I can go for hours. And if I smoked weed, I would probably be really feeling like I'm going to get some dumpers soon. And it might be like a tragic letdown if that turns out not to come to fruition. It's like there's a beach here. There's a huge wide-necked goose. Look at the size of that goose's neck. It's a fucking muscular goose. Oh, here's that odd-figured girl again. That'll be a good timing. I'll get to see that dumper. Oh, look at that. She has a totally wet crack. Yeah, that's a great dumper. As she turns and looks back, I'm trying to get my camera to face her ass. But I don't think Amazon will put their name on anything that they would risk having like a battery fire or something. Now, I often, without even trying to, I usually look at girls' pussies. Like they're wearing like these revealing clothes that shows their pussies, like their camel toe. And so I literally literally I look at their pussy and then look at their face. And a lot of times I feel like they're kind of, I don't know, it goes beyond smiling. You know, it's like I'm appreciating you. I'm not smiling at you. I'm not saying hi to you. Like the only thing I want to do is have sex with you. And I feel like it's an unspoken kind of agreement. And they're like, yeah, I'm just showing you my pussy and I'm not here to be friendly either. I feel like there's a certain honesty to it. Like if you smile and look into a girl's eyes and say hello, she's gonna know that you're a liar. A lot of times when girls are not that hot, they make up for it by being slutty. Like they wear camel toe pants. And it's like, yeah, you're getting more attention that way, but you're not really getting the attention you think. Like I'm only looking because you're basically showing your genitalia, which I guess technically that counts, but it's so rare, you know. If every girl was naked like you, then I wouldn't be looking at you. So you're kind of playing on a sort of statistic that gives you a false sense of confidence. There was another Ebgo bike. Oh, nice dumper on that pig. Really nice. Oh yeah, she was beautiful. Looks like someone just got married. Well, marriage is the coffin of love. A relationship is the death of it. So they must be trying to preserve any memory of happiness they have. Hey, nothing says I love you like legally bonding myself to you. There's no evidence that we're happy to spend our lives together, like legally mandating it. Suddenly 25 kilometers an hour doesn't seem very fast. You know what's really strange? There was once an entire family standing right where I just passed, and I felt like, this is way before I knew I was being gangstalked, and I felt like they were human trafficking me. Like they all lined up to say hi to me, and I literally felt like it was some evil plot in a movie that family had purchased me as like some kind of human trafficking, organ harvesting crime. And like they were totally insane, like waving hello. Like socializing with the victim. And in hindsight, I think that they are actually gang stalkers. I can't really remember exactly if it was a certain family of gang stalkers, but I think it was. Your reward for being a human trafficker is you get prostitution that you call love, and you get golf. You get to play golf. I mean, could you imagine something more stupid? Like you hit a ball into a hole. Yeah, I get to go fuck some prostitutes and pretend like it's not prostitution. And they're not even as hot as the ones that you get at the strip club if you actually get the ones who openly advertise themselves as prostitutes. And I get to go hit a ball into a hole with a club.